You know that friend that's always dreamed of living in Barcelona? Or maybe you were that friend. Well, I used to be that person too. Until the city got so packed with newcomers that the prices skyrocketed, the crime surged, and the local attitude towards foreigners got, let's say, less friendly. Today, there are around 430,000 foreigners living in Barcelona, making it more than 25% of the population, a record in the city's history. But it's not just the high prices and crime that are the issue. Barcelona has a kind of transient energy that attracts a certain type of crowd. Dating in 2024 is a struggle all on its own, but it can be especially frustrating in bigger cities like New York, LA, or London, where options are seemingly endless. And then there are cities that feel like playgrounds for adults: Berlin, Miami, and yes, Barcelona, where people come for weeks, months, or years to enjoy the highs of life. Add the Spanish party culture to the mix, and it's not exactly the ideal place to settle down with someone. So I decided to visit Barcelona this August to see how this fun-loving and transient attitude affects the lives of both locals and foreigners. How would you describe the dating scene in Barcelona?
Complicated, traversed with a bunch of situationships, and everybody's fleeting and on the move.
I had long relationships and short relationships here in Barcelona, and it is difficult because people are always in a rush, always going out. The nightlife is so hard here. Not so hard, so wild.
Crazy.
Yes,
Yeah.
fuerte. I don't know, it's difficult to stay with someone when you have so many options of doing things with a lot of people all the time.
I was told that I was too traditional because, of course, coming from Italy, I have a different mentality in terms of relationships, I guess. Here they are more open-minded. I mean, the usual sentence that I heard is always like in Spanish, yo soy muy de fluir. They don't know what they want and they go with the flow. My recommendation is just run away when you heard like this sentence.
How has your experience been dating in the city? I mean, you've been here for 10 years.
I can't say a good word about it. And to be honest, I'm not really satisfied with it. I'm not really satisfied with quality of the romances. I'm not really satisfied with men's behavior nowadays. And so yeah, unfortunately I didn't have really good experience.
Have you felt that personally in your experience, that it's been harder to find commitment here?
Yes, it's been a year since I came back from the US, and I had like dates with different guys. There's a guy that I was seeing like quite regularly, and at some point I was like, you're being too inconsistent with our communication. Be clear about what we want or what we have. And as soon as I expressed that I wanted like something more serious, he was like, oh well, I don't.
Do you think the city has something to do with it? Is it Barcelona?
Yeah, I totally believe in it. Even my friends, they say don't blame the city. After like 10 years, they started blaming the city by themselves, I guess.
Well, I mean, like if you ever were on a dating app or anything like that, you'd see that most people start talking to you only after they've confirmed that you live in Barcelona, because everybody's here for like a week, a couple days, and so, you know, I guess everybody's looking for love at that point in time.
Well, this is the number one problem in the dating scene in Barcelona, that people come and go, and not in a good way. Like, you come for 1 day or 2 days, and then you leave. This is how a conversation normally goes. Hey, where are you from? I'm from Germany. Okay, do you live here? No, I'm just visiting. Okay, bye.
Due to the fact that there are like lots of people coming from different backgrounds, from different cultures, international people, things are more temporary sometimes, so including relationships.
I always believe that if it's a port city, it was like since the beginning of time, you know, like sailors, they were coming, like messing around and leaving, and the same now is happening with tourists and etc. Because when they come, they obviously expect to have some amazing stay, amazing like memories and etc. But then obviously it includes romantic stories as well, and they don't really care if the girl or boy they dating with somebody else, they don't even know about it. So here is, I guess, a lot of cheating and stuff like that.
How does that affect you?
To be fair, I've been the person who's been coming and going for the longest while. This is the longest I've stayed in a place in a long time.
The city itself is like a Disneyland for adults. Basically, we can get here anything, like on the streets you are offered drugs like that, like magic dust, whatever.
You will notice that a lot of like Argentinian people hang out with Argentinians, Germans with Germans, French people with French people. And a lot of people, even though it's a metropolitan city, it doesn't mean that people are mixing. People still stick with their own groups.
What are your names?
Tony,
And Laura. And where are you from?
from Barcelona.
Born and raised Catalan.
Sí, totalmente.
Totalmente. How did you guys meet?
in a party here in Barcelona.
Because we have a friend in common.
Is it common to meet through friends here in Barcelona?
Yeah, completely. Yeah. A lot of different tastes here, so it's easy to meet people like you or completely different.
There are very interesting characters. Yeah, people who just all of a sudden ghost you. Sometimes they don't look for meeting you in person. They just want you as a follower on Instagram. Maybe after like a lot of months, they just come to you saying, do you want to, I don't know, meet up just for a one night stand?
If you go through the dating apps, that right now is my like only way of like meeting people because I work from home. You can just see a lot of like people that are just like here for like holidays, like work, like a conference or something like that, and then a lot people studying as well, and they all want the same thing, that is like a casual sex relationship, and it's like, oh, that's not what I want, so no, not for me.
Did you have a first date, or were you just kind of hanging out and just seeing what happens?
We fell in love at the first sight, I think, but the situation was complicated.
She had a boyfriend.
The thing it went horrible, but we waited and the time passed, and then we met again when we both of us were single. So we started. Love story. Yes, here we are.
What has been like the common pattern here when it comes to dating? I mean, what is bad about it? Is it that people ghost? Is it that people don't want commitment? Like, do you go on a few dates and then people just cut you out?
Oh my God, that's like all together, whatever you mentioned. So I mean, recently I joined the group on Facebook. I'm not going to tell you the name because it's a secret group. Basically, all what was mentioned above, like people they can ghost you. Some people, they, for example, are on Tinder, they say that they are single and etc. Apparently, they live just in another city and they come here for good weekend and they sleep around, but they have family, kids and stuff like that.
Dating in the US, especially once you like turn 30, I had this sense of like, let's not waste time. And let's just like get down to business. I want to have a long-term relationship. You are going to be my partner for life. I'm going to marry you. And I think here in Spain is not that serious. In that sense, dating here is more relaxed. You don't have those expectations, at least. But then, if you don't have those expectations, everything's like so flexible that even commitment gets a lot like really flexible, and people just sometimes are actually afraid of putting labels on a relationship.
Are you looking for a committed relationship, or are you looking more for an open relationship?
Me, I'm just committed to what will come to me.
So it doesn't matter.
If it doesn't matter, but if I can do a beautiful family, yes, of course I will.
So you would prefer a committed relationship, or it doesn't matter to you at all?
No, if I have a committed relationship, is nice. But before this, we have all the experience of the world. With your own partner, you can experimentate a lot of things too. So this is just definition to put things in box, you know. But
You don't like the boxes?
no, absolutely not.
So you go with the flow?
Yeah.
You'll be hard pressed to find the majority of people who know what they want, know exactly what they're looking for, and want to barrel into that. Majority of people are going to be just like, yeah, I'm kind of like figuring it out. And in that time, they will be seeing multiple people at the same time.
Do you think, in your opinion, it's hard to find commitment here?
For me, it has been almost like impossible so far because, I mean, everything is more casual. Everything is more like, okay, let's see how it goes. Of course, I mean, I'm in Barcelona, so I'm talking about Barcelona, but I think that it's more like worldwide. People struggle with being focused on someone, especially here, because the offer, I mean, the number of women and men here in Barcelona is huge.
How do you feel about this vibe?
Obviously, I have taken advantage of that vibe, but at my points in time too. But like, I think I've reached my point where I'm just like, I'm saturated with Barcelona, and it's like not sure what it wants to do kind of thing. So I'm just more like looking for something now.
Do you feel like there's a bit of a pressure to kind of be like, oh, it's cool, oh, it doesn't matter, oh, let's have fun, I'm not looking for anything serious?
Oh yeah, for sure. People just want everything to be like easy and free, and let's not put labels on, and let's just flow. And it's like, no, I just want things to be more serious.
So did you actually go on an official date?
Yeah. We went to the mountain because we love mountain. So
Your first date was on a mountain?
yeah. In a mountain here in Catalonia.
Okay.
And it's in a town called Berga. and I love that town.
Is this a common thing to do here, or was it just you guys?
I think it's not that common.
No, but you can find people to do that kind of stuff.
Here in Spain, our first date's very, very casual.
I'd say they're super casual. It's to the point where you go to the beach and just hang out.
How has that experience been, like first dates in the US versus first dates in Spain?
First dates in the US, I think the guys put a lot of effort and they try to make everything like perfect.
And then how is it in Spain? Is it just like, let's go out, split the bill?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like, okay, let's go out for a drink or maybe like a coffee. Let's just walk a little bit maybe.
And split the bill?
Yeah. In the US, it was mostly the guys that were paying the first drink.
I mean, if I have to do like a difference between Italian man and Catalan man is the fact that, I don't know, they don't have much initiative. I mean, it's always you as a woman who have to go to them and talk to them and try to, I mean, I don't know if this is just something that happened here in Barcelona, but this is something that I have been experiencing quite a lot here.
I'm from Canada, and in the US, I'm sure you know, first dates typically are quite formal. What do you think about this? Like when you have to go out and the man pays for the woman and you go to like let's say a restaurant or for like a fancy drink.
Here, there's a lot of different kind of dates. It depends on the people, but it's not only one type of first date. For me, a perfect first date is hiking on a mountain, but
Or even going to a park and just sitting and talk, because it's more natural for me at least.
I don't think the word fancy fits in my lifestyle.
Which kind of date do you prefer?
I like paying for my things. I like paying for I like inviting other people as well. So it's like, I can pay for things. I make my own money. I'm not afraid of doing that.
I prefer to prioritize another things, like a good conversation or deep conversation or similar tastes.
What would you say about dating women from Spain? He's like, what can I say on camera?
They can be really cool or they can be really complicated, honestly. It's just like, you're rolling the dice, honestly. You can meet some people who are like, no offense, really well adjusted, and then you can meet some people who just don't know where they're going and they just feel like the city themselves, even if they've lived here for however long.
Would you consider yourself feminist?
Yeah.
Do you think most Catalan women would consider themselves feminist?
Yes, there's a very strong movement, feminist movement here in Barcelona.
I consider myself a feminist.
What does feminist mean to you personally?
To be safe and to be feeling in a community.
There is a massive movement, like feminist movement, and there are a lot of organizations which help women in different situations. There are like even special codes if you are abused. So at least you can come to a shop or to a pharmacy and name a special code and they will call the police and stuff like that.
It doesn't have anything to do with gender roles?
No, I don't think so. I prefer to think as a people and persons and human beings.
Would you say Spanish women are strong?
Yes, I would definitely say that, and they've got a lot more personality, which is good. That's what makes them attractive. There is a little bit of heat inside there, like fire. Specifically, one of the girls I dated in England, they say banter. In Trinidad, we say hot mouth. She had a hot mouth. She would just like, as soon as you said anything, she'd call you out on it, and it was just like, I like that.
Spaniards are not exactly a shy group of people. Go to a beach in Spain and you will see body parts out on display. Watch a Spanish Netflix show and you might as well take a shot for the amount of times you see graphic images. Teenagers in Spain seem to enjoy an incredible amount of freedom. Case in point, there was a group of teen boys and girls that were yelling under our window until 5 or 6 in the morning, drinking, smoking, and talking about all things sex related. A friend of mine who lives in Barcelona and with whom I actually stayed is always amazed when she travels to other parts of Europe like Poland or Hungary, where teenagers seem a lot more timid in comparison to Spanish teenagers. Despite also being a Catholic country, Spain is way less conservative than its neighboring country, Portugal. Sex is simply not taboo. Tolerance is not even a subject discussed in Spain as it's so obviously ingrained in culture. I remember a movie that was filmed in Catalonia about a couple where the seemingly heterosexual guy in the relationship suddenly falls for another guy, and his female partner is at first jealous, but then also falls for that same guy. Not to spoil the ending for you, but they end up in a sort of threesome relationship. Very wholesome, indeed. And this seemed to be the Barcelona mindset at its finest. According to a survey by CIS, more than 41% of Spaniards said that partners can have sex with other people outside their relationship without getting romantically involved with them. So, how does this liberal mindset actually play out in everyday life for people?
I heard that Barcelona is pretty sexually open. What would you think about this?
Yeah.
We totally agree.
Yeah, I have a lot of polyamorous friends, and it's a thing. It's a thing. It's a very interesting thing, and I've seen it from very closely from my friends.
Have you heard about people having open relationships here in Barcelona?
Yeah, everybody.
I moved from London to Barcelona in June 2019. I lived there for 6 years, and for the first time here I heard talking about open relationships, for instance, or I don't know, like polyamor. I'm curious about knowing different like perspectives, but I think that my background, my education, my roots are totally different, so it's difficult.
Are you in maybe open relationships or doing polyamory?
You have everything here, so you can try, depend about what you search, about what you can experiment, what is your limits, what is your will.
I have a lot of polyamorous friends here.
That's interesting. That's what I've heard as well. Also swingers clubs are kind of a thing as well, right?
Yeah, and
she was telling me the other day about a club that you can go and
I've never been to, but
whatever you want.
Existe y funciona todo tipo de relaciones, de grupos, relaciones abiertas, y cuanto más relaciones abiertas mejor. Que cada uno tiene la libertad y está muy bien de hacer en cada momento lo que uno quiera.
¿Conoce gente así que son abiertas?
Sí. Que bueno, es un acuerdo entre, si tú tienes una pareja, es cuestión de tener este acuerdo con tu pareja. Si tienes este diálogo y estás de acuerdo, todo está bien. Lo malo es que una de las dos personas no esté de acuerdo.
Do you get a lot of customers here that are like in open relationships?
Yeah, a lot. They're always asking for something to make a trio.
How old are they typically?
From 20 years old till 30. Not more than that.
How do you feel about open relationships and polyamory?
I never been on open relationships. I'm not close to the option.
Why do you think polyamory and all these kind of different like alternative relationships, why is this such a big thing in Barcelona?
I think it is because it's a big city and you have a lot of cultures and a lot of different people, so
A lot of choice too, right?
Yeah,
a lot of.
exactly.
It's very, very transient.
Barcelona has this non-committal vibe. Fear of missing out on something. It's like a microcosm of Europe in total. So you're just like, you're meeting people from all these different places. So you're always just wondering like, oh, but I may not have gone out with this person. Or I may not have gone out with this person. So you're like, you know what? If I leave the door open and you're okay with it, then I can still see those people and I can complete like whatever side quest that you want to do in dating.
There's some countries that are really close. There's some countries that are very open, like Germany. Berlin is a city really known for openness. I think people that are from Europe come to these big cities to open themselves. If you're from Italy, I know the sex in Italy and sex shops are really not a really good scene, but here it's really open. So maybe we receive Italians and they decided to, I don't know, go for a crazy swingers party tonight or have a crazy relationship night or something like that, and that's Barcelona.
Truth be told, I wasn't exactly shocked by the responses that I got in Barcelona. In the West, our lives are already filled with so many choices, and we all know that that affects our attention spans and focus. But certain places amplify this energy, and Barcelona is definitely one of them. A total adult playground with a go-with-the-flow vibe. And of course, there's no surprise that people who struggle the most are women in their 30s, especially women over 35, who are so burnt out from a string of non-committal relationships and are now looking for something real. But finding that can be tough, with a constant flood of beautiful young tourists and expats, many of whom are looking for fun with no strings attached. So if you're watching this and trying to figure out if you should make the move, ask yourself, are you looking for an adventure or are you looking for something more meaningful? I truly believe that you can find love anywhere if you're open to it, and in a place where you feel you belong. When you're where you want to be, you show up differently. So if Barcelona is still the city of your dreams, then definitely go for it, or try another city in Spain, which is going to be a lot less transient than Barcelona, such as Madrid. And by the way, stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be all about culture shocks of living in Spain. And if you made it to the end and enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. I also made similar videos for Sweden and Montreal, and honestly, I can keep these going because it's obviously very difficult to find love these days, no matter where you go, but obviously certain places amplify this difficulty. I also have guys on meeting people and dating, now featuring Sweden, Finland, and the Netherlands. And if you want to see more countries, then let me know below. Plus, check out my podcast where I interview people from all around the globe about love and connection. If you love what I do and would love to support the channel, please check out the link below and keep breaking down your barriers.